Today we will discuss regarding hydraulic pumps used in hydraulic systems. Regarding hydraulic pumps, so hydraulic pump is the heart of hydraulic system. Its function is to convert mechanical energy into hydraulic energy by pushing the hydraulic fluid into the system. Pump is an energy conversion element which receives energy from the prime mover. So, generally, an electric motor or engine, it is used as a prime mover and imparts it to fluid. Most of the hydraulic pumps receive fluid from reservoir and pump it to loaded actuator to perform the work. Now, regarding the classification of hydraulic pumps, so there are mainly two categories of the hydraulic pumps. First is hydrostatic. It is also called the positive displacement pump, and hydrodynamic means it is non-positive displacement pump. So first is positive displacement pump. This pump ejects fixed quantity of fluid per revolution of the pump shaft. The pump outlet flow is constant and is not dependent on the system pressure. So they are suited for fluid power system. Positive displacement pumps must be protected against overload. The reason is that it continues to eject fluid, causing an extremely rapid built up pressure. So examples of positive displacement pumps are gear pump, vane pump and piston pump. And generally in all the hydraulic systems, positive displacement pumps are used. Advantages of positive displacement pumps. These pumps are widely used in hydraulic system. They generate high pressure. They are relatively small and enjoy very high power to weight ratio. They have greater flexibility of performance under varying speed pressure requirements. Now next is non-positive displacement pump. It is also called a hydrodynamic type. So in hydrodynamic pumps, kinetic energy is added to the fluid by increasing its velocity. This increase in energy is then converted to a gain in potential energy, that is pressure. When the velocity is reduced as the flow exits the pump into the expanding discharge pipe. So dynamic pumps are generally used for low pressure, high volume applications because they are not capable of withstanding high pressure. They are of little use in a fluid power field. So this type of pump is primarily used for transporting fluids in pipeline. The two most commonly types are centrifugal and axial flow propeller pumps. So in a hydraulic system, generally the positive displacement pumps are used. So we will see the construction and working of that pumps. So positive displacement pumps can be classified by the type of mechanical motion of its internal elements that produces the volume change in the liquid. The motion may be reciprocating or rotary. So there are essentially three basic types. First type is gear pumps. It is classified as external gear pump, internal gear pump, lobe pump and screw pump. Second category is vane pumps. So it is classified as unbalanced vane pump, that is also called fixed or variable displacement. And second is balanced vane pump. It is a fixed displacement only. And third category of the positive displacement pump is piston pumps. It is classified as axial design and radial design. Now the first type or the first category of the hydraulic pump is the gear pump. So gear pump is the is a robust and simple positive displacement pump. It has two mesh gears revolving about their respective axes. The rigid design of the gears and houses allow for very high pressures and the ability to pump highly viscous fluids. They are suitable for a wide range of fluids and offer self-priming performance. So based upon the design, the gear pumps are classified as external gear pump, lobe type pump, internal gear pump and gerotor pumps. So first is external gear pump. So principle of operation of external gear pump. So gear pumps are positive displacement pumps. A partial vacuum is created as the gear rotates and oil is forced up into the pump due to atmospheric pressure on the oil surface. This oil is then carried to the delivery port by teeth and finally out to the force out to the actuator. So this principle is used in a external gear pump. So we will see the construction of external gear pump. So it consists of two mesh gears, a housing with front and back cover. Each gear is mounted on a shaft which is supported on a bearings in the end covers. One of these shafts, the drive shaft, is coupled to a prime mover, that is the drive motor. Two ports, inlet and delivery ports, are provided. So in this diagram, there is a inlet port and the outlet port. It is indicated. The gears have 12 teeth, which reduces the variation of output flow rate and noise level respectively. Now we will see the operation. So in this figure, the spur gear pump, it is shown. One gear it is a driver and another it is a driven, and there is a inlet and outlet port. So we'll see the operation of external gear pump. So when the pump is started, the working liquid is trapped in the gaps between the gear teeth and is propelled, means it is carried along from the suction, that is inlet port, to the pressure port or the outlet port. A, a partial vacuum is needed to produce suction in a suction chamber. When the teeth take away liquid along with them from suction chamber, thus reduction in the volume of suction chamber creates suction. The suction and delivery sides are constantly sealed due to the continuous meshing of the two gears. In pressure chamber, the teeth deliver the liquid and thus force the liquid into delivery line. So this is the operation of external gear pump. A partial vacuum is created at the pump inlet as the gear teeth unmesh. Fluid flows into fill the space and is carried around the outside of the gears. As the teeth mesh again at the outlet end, the fluid is forced out. So you can see the direction of the fluid from inlet to outlet in between the gear teeth and the casing, and it is forced through the outlet. Then second is internal gear pump. Internal gear pump works on the same principle as that of external gear pump but differs in construction. As the name implies, it has one internal gear and another external gear. So you can see in a diagram there is one internal gear and one external gear, and in between at one place there is a in between there is a sealing, that is a crescent seal. It is provided between the inlet gear and internal gear and external gear. You can see in a diagram there is a inlet and outlet. So the construction, these pumps have an internal gear or rotor which rotates concentrically into the casing. This internal gear meshes with an eccentrically mounted external gear which is driven by motor. A crescent seal supported from the end cover of the pump seals between the suction and delivery chamber, and it does not rotate. Now we will see the operation. When the drive gear turns in clockwise direction, it rotates itself as well the internal gear. The oil trap between external gear teeth and crescent as well as internal gear teeth and crescent is carried away. This creates partial vacuum in suction chamber. Due to that, oil is rushed in due to atmospheric pressure on oil. The oil carried away by the both the gears is forced into the discharge chamber. So this is the working of the internal gear pump. Next is gerotor type pump. The gerotor pump operated much like the internal gear pump but has little difference in construction and operation. This pump also comes under the category of the gear pumps because the gerotor element has the gear like shape but it does not meshes like gear. Construction, these pumps have a pair of gear shaped elements meshing each other internally. The inner rotor element called gerotor element is connected to drive shaft and drives the outer generated rotor. The inner rotor has always less by one tooth than the number of teeth on a outer rotor. Generally, inner has 6 and outer has 7 teeth. The tooth form of the inner element is such that each tooth of the inner element is always in sliding contact with the surface of the outer element. Now working, when the inner element rotates, the pockets goes on increasing in size due to motion. These increasing pockets create suction and suck the oil into suction chamber. Whereas there are pockets on the pressure side which decrease in size as a result of motion force the fluid to discharge. Next category of the pump is vane type pumps. So principle of vane type pumps. So vane type pumps operate on a principle of increasing and diminishing volume. The oil from the suction port is confined into the chamber consisting of sliding vanes. As the rotor rotates, the volume of this chamber goes on reducing, resulting pressure in the fluid. At last, pressurized fluid is discharged or forced into delivery chamber. Now, the first type of the vane type pump is unbalanced type vane pump. So, this is indicated in this slide, unbalanced type of vane pump. It is shown in a figure. Construction, in this type, the rotor axis is positioned eccentric to the circular ring inside which it rotates. Since the vanes are free to slide in their slots, they move outward due to centrifugal force. When the rotor rotates, the vane make contact with the inner ring wall. The number of chambers are formed between the vanes and cam ring due to positive seal. The chamber changes their volume continuously because the values follow the inner contour of the ring. The discharge and suction side of the pump are sealed from each other at any time by at least one vane. Now the working of the vane pump. As the rotor rotates in clockwise direction, the area between the two vanes is sealed as the vane uncovers suction port. This creates partial vacuum in a suction chamber and results in suction of hydraulic fluid into suction chamber. Further, the fluid confined between two vanes is carried away to the outlet chamber, forcing the liquid into delivery port. So this is the working of unbalanced vane pumps. Next type of vane pump is balanced type vane pump. So construction of balanced type vane pump. In this type, a circular rotor with vane slots is concentrically positioned with the axis of an elliptical cam ring. So you can see in a diagram, there is a elliptical cam ring. This creates two inlet and two outlet chambers such that two pressure outlets oppose each other and two inlet chambers are directly opposite to each other. Therefore, the forces acting on the shaft are fully balanced and the side loading of the shaft, that is in case of unbalanced type pump, is eliminated completely in this type of pump. Both the inlet ports are connected together and both the outlet ports are connected together, so that in the pump housing there is only one pump inlet and one delivery port. These type of pumps are constant volume or fixed displacement pumps. So this is a working of balance vane type pump. Now next type of vane type pump is variable displacement design or the variable delivery vane pump. The construction of vane pump is modified to make it variable displacement. The displacement from a vane pump depends on vane throw, that is eccentricity of rotor, vane cross-sectional area and rotational speed. Vane throw is adjusted by adjusting eccentricity between the rotor and stator. More eccentricity, that is maximum throw, results in maximum discharge and vice versa. In this type, it has two screws. One on the right hand is for pressure adjustment and on left hand side for setting concentricity. By tightening pressure adjustment screw, the spring force on the casing is increased. This results in increase in discharge pressure of the pump. Whereas the left hand screw sets the eccentricity of rotor with the stator ring, which is pivoted at the top. The change in eccentricity results in change in throw of the vane and consequently discharge of the pump. So this is the working. So advantages and disadvantages of vane type pumps. So advantages of vane pumps: it is quieter than gear pumps, higher pressure capability than gear pumps, better volumetric efficiency than gear pump, can be balanced in design for longer life, and variable displacement an option. and disadvantages more complex and expensive than gear pumps. Then next type of positive displacement pump is piston type pumps. The piston type pumps operate on the same principle as that of a reciprocating pump. Piston type hydraulic pumps have several pistons arranged such that some of them are sucking the fluid while others delivering it. So piston type pumps are following types. First is radial piston type. So pistons are arranged radially with respect to the axis of rotation. And second category, it is axial piston pumps. So pistons are arranged parallel to axis of rotation. Again, it has two types: swash type axial piston pump and bent axis type axial piston pump. Now regarding, so first we will see the axial piston pump. So construction is, it consists of rotating cylinder barrel which consists of piston arranged on it axially. The piston ends are connected to an inclined swash plate. So you can see the swash plate that is inclined. You can see also, you can see the piston subassembly, then wall plate slot, outlet port and inlet port. The direction of piston movement, that is forward or backward, that is suction or delivery, is decided by its peripheral position on a swash plate. The rotating piston travels along an elliptical line on the stationary swash plate. So the pistons in axial piston pump reciprocate parallel to the center line of the drive shaft of the piston block. That is, rotary shaft motion is converted into axial reciprocating motion. Most axial piston pumps are multi-piston and use check valves or port plates to direct liquid flow from inlet to discharge. Then next type of piston pump is radial piston design. So regarding construction, so radial piston pump has a fixed casing having suction and delivery port in it. So you can see in a diagram, there is a retaining ring, then the inlet port, outlet port, the pistons that are arranged, there is a cylinder block. So inside the fixed casing, there is a rotating piston block which carries pistons in it. At the center, there is a fixed eccentric cam whose center and center of rotation of the block are offset by an amount equal to E. Operation. As the piston block rotates in clockwise direction, the eccentricity causes the piston on the suction side and to move inwards towards center due to spring force. The pistons on delivery side moves in outward due to reducing eccentricity. This motion of piston causes suction and delivery of the fluid. For variable displacement flow, the eccentricity of the pump is changed manually or hydraulically with load dependent sensing. Advantages of piston pump: generally highest volumetric efficiency, generally highest pressure capability, variable displacement designs. And the disadvantages are the higher cost. So these are some positive displacement pumps that are shown in a diagram. So this is regarding the hydraulic pumps used in a hydraulic system. Thank you.